Hello everyone, LunarDave here. 2019 is going to be over in a few weeks, and 2020 is just around the corner. And every new year for me means more games to play on my Nintendo Switch. So, without further ado, I'll go over my wish list of what games I want to be either announced or to be released for the Switch in the year 2020. Recently, I've been hearing news that 3DS games will be ported or remade onto the Switch. This is pretty big news to me since a lot of my most favorite games are on the 3DS. As for which games I would like from the 3DS, that would have to be Fire Emblem Fates and Echoes. Now, before you grab your pitchforks for me daring to say that I want Fire Emblem Fates in, I'm just going to say that Fates is my personal favorite game in the series, and I even prefer it over Three Houses. I don't exactly believe that it is very likely for these games to come out on the Switch, but that's why I call these videos a wishlist video and not a predictions video. I'll admit a lot of this comes from my extreme bias towards Fire Emblem, but either way, those are the main two that I would want from the 3DS. The one game I think absolutely deserves to be on the Switch would be a port of Kid Icarus Uprising. I never played it, but from what I hear, the controls will be much better on the Switch than the 3DS. Speaking of ports, let's talk about the Wii and GameCube era games that I want to get ported to the Switch. And they are Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, and of course, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. The main reason I would want the Tellius games on the Switch is because the main thing I don't like about home console Fire Emblem is that you cannot take it with you on the go. And Fire Emblem to me is pretty frustrating to play only at my own home, and the fact that I always have to physically move and press the restart button to reset a chapter. I also feel like having a port of the Tellius games will allow people to finally play the game that Ike is in, mostly because, the games are some of the most expensive in the franchise. Anyway, onto Mario Galaxy. I don't think I really need to explain myself on why I want these games to get ported to Switch. They are some of my favorite Mario games of all time in basically every aspect. The look, the soundtrack, and overall feeling makes me feel like these games will benefit a lot being on both a portable system and the fact that it will be upscaled to HD. And for more personal reasons, Mario Galaxy was the very first game that I ever played in my life, so it would just be amazing if I could take it wherever I want. And there is real reason to port it over as well. On the Nvidia Shield, which has the same power as the Switch, Super Mario Galaxy has been ported over it, and based on the gameplay, it would just look amazing if it was also on the Switch. Third-party ports have always been iffy for me. I'm either not interested in them, or the fact that they always seem to be $60 compared to the other consoles that have them at $30, which made me a little bit hesitant to try any of them out, with a few exceptions. However, there is one particular game that I would actually beg to get ported on the Switch, and that is Tekken 7. Tekken 7 has recently become an instant favorite of mine, and I would love it if I could play it on the go, regardless of how bad the resolution would have to be for it to run at 60 frames per second. And if they do add Tekken 7 to the Switch, I would really love it if they would add Nintendo costumes like in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 from the Wii U. Who wouldn't want to play Captain Falcon in Tekken? Now, let's get into remakes, and here we go back to Fire Emblem. Yeah, I just cannot shut up about Fire Emblem. Recent rumors have brought to light that potential Fire Emblem 6 remakes were being worked on the 3DS at some point, but was cancelled. And now that I've seen this rumor, I would absolutely want this to be remade for the Switch, preferably with Fire Emblem 7 included. There are so many reasons as to why I would want this to be on the Switch, but I think I can simplify it for you guys to the fact that this would allow Western fans to finally experience the game Roy is in without resorting to a fan translation. And hey, if anything, we would finally get an official release of Fire Emblem 6 before Mother 3. Now that would be cool. And hilarious. Alright, we have mostly been talking about games that already exist in this world. Now, let's get into the games that don't. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have a lot of new games that I would want or am anticipating, but there is one series that I would want to get a new entry onto the Switch, and that would have to be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is the reason why I even created this channel, and has been on every handheld since the GBA. We don't talk about the WiiWare games. There are arguments to if the Switch counts as a handheld, especially the regular model. But I treat it as a hybrid, so I feel like Mystery Dungeon would work well on the Switch, especially because Chocobo Mystery Dungeon is on the Switch. Mystery Dungeon is just a series I love very much, even more than the main series Pokemon games. To me, it just has a more interesting plot, and the gameplay, while it can get repetitive at times, has kept me far more engaged than any of the mainline Pokemon games can ever dream of getting from me. Anyway guys, that's my wish list of games that I want for the Switch in 2020. A lot of it was Fire Emblem, but that's really only because I enjoy the series a lot. Regardless, if you guys like my wish list or would like to tell me your own, comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content from yours truly. Anyways, once again, that is all for today, and I'll see you guys sometime soon. Bye, Pia!